Test, test, test. Yeah. Can you hear me? All right. Good morning. My name is Carolyn. I am the CEO here at Feeding America, Riverside, San Bernardino. Unfortunately, we're here right now because there's a huge need in the area due to the SNAP cuts. This is really affecting our food bank because we already have a high need during October, November, December. We already see an influx in need here in the community in Riverside and San Bernardino counties. Right now, that's magnified because there's so many more families that are requesting assistance that are losing their benefits. They need help finding distributions. They need homebound deliveries, and there's more of a need than our small team here can keep up with. We want to help as many people as we can during this time, but it's certainly a challenge, and I think we need to work together to be able to support our neighbors during this season. So I want to get started with our first speaker this morning. We have Congressman Mark Takano.
Well, thank you, Carolyn. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone here at Feeding America, Riverside, and San Bernardino counties for showing us around your remarkable operation this morning. I'm Congressman Mark Takano. I represent the 39th District here in Riverside County. What we just saw on this tour says a lot. This warehouse is the heartbeat of how our community takes care of one another. Every box and every volunteer here means a family has food on the table tonight. California is doing its part. The state is putting up $80 million to support food banks across California, including $2.6 million right here at this facility here in the Inland Empire. That is real help, and it is badly needed. But even with that, it cannot hold back the wave of hunger we will see if the Trump administration does not act. Over the past week, while food banks like this one were doing everything they could to keep up, the Trump administration suspended November's SNAP benefits for more than 42 million Americans, even though the funds were available. Federal judges had to step in and order the administration to make those payments. But they could always appeal the ruling or slow walk the payments. Think about that. Judges had to order our own government to feed people, to feed our community. Nearly 2.3 million people rely on SNAP every month across Riverside, San Bernardino, and Los Angeles counties. If those benefits are delayed, food banks like this one will be stretched to the breaking point overnight. And that should never happen in America. Our message today to President Trump is simple. Stop using hunger as a weapon. These are 16 million children, 8 million seniors, 4 million people with disabilities, and 1.2 million veterans across the United States who are right now wondering where their next meal will come from. Families, seniors, and veterans should never have to wonder whether politics will decide whether they can eat. Our ask is clear. Restart SNAP benefits now, as the judge ordered. Come to the negotiating table so we can save healthcare and reopen the government. House Democrats are ready to work today. And to everyone here at Feeding America, thank you. You are on the front line of compassion in our community, and you remind all of us what government ought to stand for. Now, it is my honor to introduce my friend and colleague and a strong voice for working families here in the Inland Empire, and our House Democratic Caucus leader, Congressman Pete Aguilar. Congressman Aguilar.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Representative Takano, who is much taller than me. There we go. Good morning. I'm Pete Aguilar, Chairman of the House Democratic Caucus and a congressman for the 33rd Congressional District in San Bernardino. I want to thank Feeding America, Riverside, and San Bernardino for their hospitality and showing us the work that they do, but more importantly, for everything that you do 7 days a week in providing for people We greatly appreciate it. I want to thank Congressman Takano, Congressman Ruiz, Congresswoman Norma Torres, my colleagues here today, as well as the partners who have been involved to call attention to Donald Trump's failure to fund SNAP, or as we call it in California, CalFresh. This organization is stepping up, helping Californians in the Inland Empire who need it most when Trump's USDA has refused to provide federal food support, turning their back on Americans. From local food distribution to emergency aid programs, the United Way and Feeding America are doing what politicians in Washington, D.C. aren't, and this shouldn't be the case. It goes without saying that the cruel use of putting Americans as political pawns for Republicans to allow their constituents to go hungry in this Trump administration while they send billions of dollars to a corrupt regime in Argentina is a stark contrast. As we see here today, this group of elected officials, this group of House Democrats isn't standing for it. We know that they have the ability to fund these programs and to ensure that no one, no matter what state they're in or jurisdiction or congressional district they live in, should go without food. In previous shutdowns, SNAP was always funded and can be funded now, but the Trump administration is choosing to punish children and families who rely on SNAP. As Representative Takano said on Friday, 2 federal judges both ruled that the administration should use their contingency funds, and their response today is that they will fund half. Republicans have no problem finding the $40 billion of taxpayer money to bail out a regime in Argentina and to support their billionaire colleagues, and $300 million for a new White House ballroom, but they don't have the time or energy to help people. It's not clear why the administration feels this way, but it's taking Americans backwards. In San Bernardino County alone, over 377,000 residents who are receiving CalFresh benefits will go without that critical assistance. Ensuring that people in San Bernardino County and the Inland Empire receive food assistance is just a fraction of what that ballroom costs Donald Trump. We implore our colleagues to wake up and to finally do the right thing by the American people that they represent. Open the government, restore SNAP, and fund healthcare. With that, I'll introduce Representative Raul Ruiz from the Coachella Valley.
Thank you, Congressman Pete Aguilar. Thank you to Representatives Torres and Takano. It's not very often where you get the entire Inland Empire Congressional Democratic Delegation together, but this is of supreme importance for all of our constituents. I really want to give a huge thank you to the team here at Feeding America, Riverside, and San Bernardino counties for opening your doors to us and for your life-saving work that you do every day right here in the heart of the Inland Empire. This warehouse serves thousands of families from all across Riverside County and San Bernardino, including constituents of mine in San Jacinto, Hemet, Banning, Beaumont, Cabazon, and Needles, and Parker as well. So I want to thank all of you and all of the volunteers who are here putting the packages together and all the hard work that you need. And if you've seen the warehouse, you've seen the need, and not only of more donations, more support, more philanthropic funding, and also volunteers. This is a great season to volunteer, especially as Thanksgiving approaches. So those who live in the nearby area and you want to come and volunteer, please get a hold of Caroline at Feed America, Riverside, and San Bernardino counties because they need your help. Look, no American family should ever go hungry, not in the wealthiest nation of the world. But unfortunately, the big, beautiful bill, also correctly known as the Big Ugly Law, just had historic cuts to the SNAP program, 186 billion, largest cuts ever in our nation's history. And the shutdown is only exacerbating the food insecurity, the hunger rates that families are feeling right here in the Inland Empire and definitely throughout Imperial County, the Coachella Valley, and throughout Riverside and the San Bernardino counties. That means more than 5 million people are going to face food insecurity. That means that federal workers who just missed their paychecks are not going to be able to get the groceries they need to make their Thanksgiving meals. And that's just unacceptable, especially when Speaker Johnson has canceled work for the 5th week in a row during this shutdown. So we need to get them to call all members back to work. The Democrats have been there in Washington, D.C. We need Republicans to show up, open the House floor for debate, for negotiation, and let's get some solutions on the table before families don't have their Thanksgiving meal on their kitchen table. And SNAP assistance is a lifeline. It keeps food on the table for 42 million Americans, 16 million children, 8 million seniors, 4 million individuals with disabilities, and over 1.2 million veterans. In my district, it means kids can focus on learning instead of being hungry. It means seniors can take their medications with a meal. It means working families can make it through a tough month without losing hope. Congress set aside emergency funds for situations like this to make sure SNAP keeps running even during a shutdown. And it took states like California to sue the administrations in order for a judge to force the administration to use those funds. And they're not even using all of the funds. They're using half the funds, adding insult to injury for working people who have relied on these funds to meet their nutritional needs. They're being forced to, and yet they're still withholding. It's insufficient. We need the full funds so that families can be fully fed during the Thanksgiving holidays. And Speaker Johnson needs to stop canceling work, call everyone to DC, prevent healthcare costs from skyrocketing, and protect the 186 billion cuts in SNAP that Republicans already passed in their big ugly law. And so our message today is simple. Feeding families should never be a partisan issue, and we are here to demand that SNAP benefits, full SNAP benefits, be released immediately. Together with Feed America and our communities across the Inland Empire, we will continue fighting for the dignity, health, and the well-being of every family, because every person deserves access to healthy, nutritious food. Reopen the government, protect SNAP, protect healthcare, and lower costs. That's what this is about. And with that, I invite Representative Norma Torres to give a few words.
Good morning, everyone. I'm not sure how we do this. Thank you. Thank you, Chairman Pete Aguilar. Not only are you the chairman of our caucus, the leader of our caucus, but you have spent so much time with us over the weekend and since the shutdown. Really appreciate you being here and sharing this moment with all of us. I want to start by thanking Representative Takano for calling this tour and press conference. We are here, all of the representatives that represent the Inland Empire. We are here because we truly care about what is happening in our communities. I want to start by thanking Feed America, the volunteers, the workers, that are here who are also going without, who are also stressed out because of the lack of food that is in their pantries. I also want to thank Governor Newsom. And while President Trump has failed our families time and time again, our governor here in California has ordered the National Guard and has found $80 million to provide quick and fast food to refill our food banks. What we saw here today was an empty freezer. And what we saw here today is a lot of empty shelves. We are in desperate need of food assistance. And while this lawsuit provides relief, and hopefully the president will abide by the court order, it is going to take about 2 weeks for all of that processing to take place and to be able to refill those SNAP debit cards. So while the poorest Americans woke up Saturday morning, November 1st, to the reality that they had $0 left on their SNAP benefit account, President Trump was parading half-naked women at his palace in Mar-a-Lago and entertaining his billionaire friends. So I want to give you some facts. On July 4th, Donald Trump and Republicans signed into law the biggest cut to SNAP in our nation's history, slashing $4.5 billion every year from our state and hurting nearly 1 million people right here in the Inland Empire who rely on this benefit to feed their families. In my district, that is 112,000 families that are going without food. Then on September 19th, the House Republicans refused to work with Democrats to lower healthcare costs and prevent a government shutdown. Instead, they are still on vacation, 34 days and counting. On September 30th, their own shutdown plan said emergency funds were available and should be used to keep SNAP running. That is the law. But on October 24th, the Trump administration illegally withheld those emergency funds and deleted their own plan that said the opposite. And this past Friday, Halloween, October 31st, federal judges order the Trump administration to follow the law and provide SNAP benefits in November. Today, November 3rd, I'm still standing here in the Inland Empire instead of in Washington, D.C., because House Republicans have once again prioritized their benefits to stay home in their districts instead of being in Washington getting the government to reopen. They refuse to work. They refuse to govern. They refuse to protect our health care, and they refuse to reopen the government. They are trying to take away SNAP from 42 million Americans, and they are using hunger as leverage to force Democrats to accept the biggest cuts to health care. It is unacceptable, and let me be clear. All of us here today are not going to back down. We are not going to stop fighting for families who count on food to put on the table. We are going to stand up for all of those families in the Inland Empire, and we will continue to work with our partners here to ensure that these warehouses turn the page and get restocked. Thank you again, Representative Takano, Chairman Aguilar, and Dr. Ruiz for bringing us together today.
Well, thank you, Representative Norma Torres. Go ahead.
I would just like to close this out and just let you know again, once more, as a food bank, we're a nonprofit. We rely on the resources from the community. We rely on federal funding. We rely on volunteers, donors, food, and we simply just don't have enough of that to be able to make up the need right now. So this program needs to continue so that our community can be fed during this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Caroline. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Pete. Thank you, Norma. Thank you, Raul. Great.
Good job, Mark.